It's Sunday, 3rd of the 9th, 2023. Destination Cockle Creek, southwest Tasmania. Ship sinking index is going to make a return. Not sure it's the end of the earth, but it's moving on down in that direction. Another regret pops up here, that being that we didn't come back the next day and do that 4 or 5 hour hike into South Cape Bay. The 6 to 8 day would also be awesome. Sunday, September 3, 2023. Day 36 on the road. Move into week 6. Camped last night here at Southport and be here again tonight. What an astonishing day. It is magnificent. So over there's the Southport Hotel. A kilometre or so down the road there is that little beachside community settlement of Southport around those beaches, right on those beaches. Bit of tree work going on there. There's a mountain out there in the back. Today we're going to drive down to Cockle Creek. It's about 40 k's from here, and at that particular stage we will be closer to the South Pole than we are to Cairns. So we're at Catamaran Bay on the way to Cockle Creek. It's a little bit wobbly on this thingamy ramp. You kind of get the picture. Yeah, there's a lot of signage in and around this area. So I'll just put a few shorts here at the front end and put all the long stuff at the end, just in case, on the very, very small chance that someone's interested. However, if one of us wants to go back and have a look at it, we'll know where to find it. We're just down at the whale sculpture near Cockle Creek, or at Cockle Creek, heading southwest. The southern right whale sculpture. A little bit of the beach at Cockles Creek. Well, I think we're at Cockle Creek, Cockles Creek, one of the two. There's a fair few people down here. One rather hardy soul swimming out there with no wetsuit, and I'm happy to tell you it's not hot. It's a beautiful day, but there is a wind chill factor in that wind breeze. One hardy soul actually became a duos hardy soul. Glad we came down here. Not sure we're going to end up camping down here. The campgrounds look really wet, tacky, nasty. We're going to hike up to Fisher's Point after we have lunch. It's up that way somewhere through the bushes. Some solid sandy white beaches. A little bit. Yes, you can just make them out up there. Over that way we've still got some mountains, or we have some mountains we've still got their head in the clouds. We are setting off on one of the shorter walks, a couple of hours return they say, to Fisher's Point. Not sure if we'll get there, got to walk along a couple of beaches and the tide is high-ish. Entering the first stretch of beach on the way to Fisher's Point. This is Planters Beach on the way to Fisherman's Point. We didn't make it. We lost about 20 minutes, failed to take the correct turn coming out of the bush, and we had to scramble through a bit of water, so decided to turn back. Small regret, but not a big one. I guess we've only driven as far southwest as you can go. Haven't done the walk as far southwest as you can go. It just goes on and on. Beach, bush, mountain, and even more of the beach. A couple of little rocky columns here. On the way back now, just didn't know enough about the lay of the land and didn't want to get caught on the other side of the tide. Also wasn't that keen to experience the large invoice for helicopter or boat rescue, or even perish in the southwest of Tasmania, or worse still, spend a very, very cold night underprepared. heading out of Cockle Creek.
Crossing another one of the great Tasmanian bridges. They love a narrow bridge with a right angle bend or better at one or both ends. And another one of those fancy bridges as we drive away from Cockle Creek, or as we continue to drive away from Cockle Creek. A little bit rough, quite deep, and the water heavily infused with tannin, so it looks quite brown. This road is and has been quite wet and very slippery, very glassy on top. Probably hasn't dried out for a month. Could be quite dangerous if you wanted to attack it hard. Speed limit 30.
A very quick visit to Hastings Caves. It's almost closing time, so definitely no time to go in. Have a look around the outside and a quick visit to the gift shop, and onwards we went. Currently at Ida Bay, where there used to be some rail action. The railway has been closed down due to safety concerns. Being restored, who knows how long that'll take. It was a narrow gauge affair, 24 inch, which as you can see is quite narrow. I'll have to have a look and see where it ran from to. Very interesting to see rail lines out here, kind of in the middle of nowhere. Yet only 2 hours from the capital city. Another regret pops up here, only a little one perhaps, but very disappointed I didn't just walk a few metres further and get a decent picture of that puffing billy, because it's a pretty cool little puffing billy. The Ida Bay rail line is 7 kilometres long and runs basically from the Hastings Caves to Ida Bay, where it transported limestone to be shipped around to Hobart. There's a lot more on the 3Ws, but there's a bit of a basic idea. 2 foot gauge, Ida Bay Railway, crossing the road. Even had flashing lights. My ship sinking index, remember light blue, ships that have been down in that area. Southwest Cape's claimed a few, down through other places we've been to recently. Cape Bruni's claimed a few, and even up to the Freycinet Peninsula, a few down all around the shop in this area of Tasmania. Dined on Sunday night, the 3rd of the 9th, 23, at the Southport Hotel Tavern. I went with the flathead salad and chips. Flathead doesn't usually do it for me, but this was an excellent feed, excellent feed. Booked up and almost ready to go. It is Monday, 04/09/2023, day 37 on the road. We're just about to leave the Southport van park. It's a regional place. They're all old. They're all made for smaller gear. Just have a bit of a pan around. The facilities aren't too bad. They're old and they smell of wet and damp, but again, that's Tasmania. Little driving footage now as we head from Southport to Franklin for a couple more days. We'll pick up next right up near Mountfield National Park, but before we get there, we need to just cover off on the Jeepson experience and the Tone Airwalk experience. Already done poorly, just do it a little less poorly. It won't be great, but a little less poorly. So check back, won't be long. Coming up after this, as promised, will be all the signage from Cockle Creek for anyone that might be interested. We decided not to camp down in the Southwest National Park or Cockle Creek. At Cockle Creek, the spots we needed were already taken, and the campgrounds just out a bit from Cockle Creek were quite wet, really quite uneven, so decided to give it a miss. Even though the dark skies, etc., would have been fantastic, I'm not here to wreck gear either.